This week's guest comes from a family of daredevils. I'm Rob Archangel. This is the pre-show for Sarasota SpeaX, tailored by Tweeds. What's going on, Sarasota? I'm Rob, and this is the pre-show tailored by Tweeds. When you are looking to level up your style game, come on down, visit us at our downtown Sarasota location. We've also got locations in Tampa, as well as our newest in downtown St. Pete. Look you up. Today, I am with Nik Wallenda, American acrobat, aerialist, daredevil, and high wire artist. Nik, obviously with a name like Wallenda, the daredevil element is in the family. Tell us a little bit about what it was like growing up, and did you always have a sense that this is something that you'd be pursuing?
So it was amazing growing up in my daredevil family. I got to see the world. Before I was 10 years old, I was in 12 different countries and 48 states at that point already. So an amazing life for sure. Did I always know I would carry it on? I always knew I had a passion for it, but I didn't know if I could carry it on because of the challenges of the industry. And we all know the story of a starving artist.
Right. So I think one thing that probably a lot of viewers are wondering about, first time you're up there, you're on a high wire, no safety harness. Tell us a little bit about that, and what do you do to kind of get in the mental space so that you can make it across this feat safely?
Yeah, so first time is hard to remember. In fact, my mom was 6 months pregnant with me and still walking the wire. So first time was before my feet were always ever touching the ground. 18 months old, started performing. So it's literally been a lifetime of doing it. For mental preparedness, I sort of get into a zone, just like any athlete, just like any race car driver, to where I almost see tunnel vision. I see that wire as a battlefield. And no matter what, I'm going to make it to the other side of that battlefield. And it's just a determination and will.
And then of all the high wire feats that you've done, is there anyone that kind of stands out, first thing that comes to mind when you're reflecting back on them?
People always ask me what my favorite one is, and that's like picking a favorite child. That's not possible. But, there's something that stands out special about all of them, including I've done a couple here in Sarasota that have been nationally televised, and of course, active volcano in Niagara Falls and the Grand Canyon. Yeah. There's something unique and special about all of them. I mean, Niagara Falls was a big one. It was my first 2-hour live TV special on national and worldwide TV. So that one certainly was extremely challenging. Not as much the physical sense as it was changing 2 laws, one in the United States and one in Canada, over 100 years old, to get permission to do the walk.
Wow, incredible. Well, that is going to do it for this week's pre-show. Remember, when you are looking to level up your style game, come on down to Tweeds. We'll take good care of you. Now, coming up is a sneak peek of this week's interview with Nik.
So one of the things I like about, how your stories tie together is, people probably see you on TV doing these major stunts and, on the Today Show and all these things, and they figure, wow, this guy's he comes from this family, he's this overnight success, from a long line of these folks doing the same thing. But that's not the case, really. You've had to face so much adversity and really kind of carve out your own path, all while doing it, while having another job. I mean...
Yeah. People also think, coming from such a famous last name, it must have been easy. It was just handed to him on a silver platter. But but I think that's what makes us who we are, is all that adversity. I'm so thankful for it, because I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for it. I wouldn't be the fighter that I am, that doesn't give up, if it wasn't for those challenges. And I wouldn't have a story that helps others that are facing challenges in business today, possibly, that are like, I'm ready to lock the doors and turn the key over to the landlord because I'm done. Stick in there, because it comes, but usually it's John Maxwell's a good buddy of mine, and he always says fail forward, and I love that, because as long as you're failing forward, you're still moving in the right direction.
Yeah. I also think that in a place like Sarasota, where, as we always talk about, we have limited industries, so a lot of people who've had to make it have to forge their own path. And oftentimes they're doing that while working in the restaurant or working in their family's business or something like that. So I think, your example is just a great example for everyone.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that I have learned that failure is just a stepping stone to success. It's just part of it. And you talk to the most successful people in the world, unless it was handed to them, generally they failed 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 times before they get to that point of success.
Absolutely.
But it's there. It's around the corner. You just got to be willing to keep pursuing it.
Well, I'm just curious, because you talked about your great-grandfather, Carl, who kind of made, right, Carl?
Yeah.
who kind of made the name for Wallenda, was a patriarch of the family. It sounds like he probably had a lot of success in his day in his own right. Was he more tied in with the circus, or what? Like, how does that evolve?
Yeah, he was a superstar. Back in the heyday, circus was the form of entertainment. Right. You know, we didn't have what we have now with cell phones and the TV on demand, all of this stuff. Right. So, you know, it was the only form of entertainment when it started. In fact, you know, you would go to bed one night and you wake up the next day and there was a portable arena in the form of a big top set up in your backyard, and you took your horse and buggy to go see, because you didn't have cars back then, to see the circus. Right. So it was the real deal. So my great grandfather was a star. You know, Evel Knievel and Bob Hope, and I mean, these were all people that were close friends with him. So he had. Because he had been willing to continue to push the limits. I think that, you know, there's certain people in certain industries that are willing to just take it to another level, and that's what he was always willing to do. And in creating like the 7-person pyramid, you know, when he brought our family over here, they came over in 1928 to headline on Ringling Brothers, and they were making headlines around the world, but they were performing in Cuba. And John Ringling heard about them because they were making headlines, and he's like, I got to go see these people because I want them on Ringling Brothers. So he made his way to Cuba, and he got there, got off the ship, and went to the show, and the show owner spotted him in the audience. And he went backstage to my family who were getting ready to go on, and he said, you guys are taking the night off. And they're like, what do you mean we're taking the night off? He's like, yeah, you guys got the night off. You've been doing great. Didn't tell him why. Well, he knew John Ringling was going to see him and immediately, you know.
Stealing from him, essentially.
Right. John Ringling was one of the richest men in the world at this time.
That's right.
So he didn't want him to get poached.
Right. He could buy any act he wanted,
That's right. So he gave him the night off. Well, John Ringling was smart, and he got back in the next day. He snuck in. And saw him perform and immediately signed him.
In the movie.